Welcome, everyone. I'm Chris Ripley with the Strategic Marketing Group, and we're going to learn all about Facebook advertising today. 9 reasons why you should advertise on Facebook and how to do it right. And the how to do it right part, when we get to the end, we're going to set up an ad, and hopefully that'll help everybody out a lot. So before I go any further, let me just check if you could hear me. If somebody could just type yes, just to make sure the audio is going out. I see the green bar going up and down, but how about, like, there we go. Okay, I see some hands coming up. There's Nana. All right, I see lots of people who are at the seminar on Saturday, and that's great. And if you weren't there, you missed something. I do have an audio recording of it, but the SCORE seminar on Saturday about your website. So I see several of those people. Let's see, we got in the, yes, thanks, Lee, Jim, Linda. All right, Linda from the, from days gone in the past. Good to see you on the call as once. This is going to be one of the most well-attended webinars that I've ever had. It's exciting about that. We had over 30 people register, so that's great. This is a hot topic. Getting into Facebook, we'll go to the first slide right away, and Facebook advertising is hot. It's huge. I hate to use words like that, but if you've been paying attention to the news the last couple of days, you might have heard that Facebook announced their profits, and profits were at a record number for Facebook. It continues to grow, and they continue to be very successful. And what are they successful doing? What is Facebook in reality now? They're an advertising company. And I was listening to a podcast today as I was delivering Meals on Wheels, and the person said that Facebook knows more about us than we do, and made the point that he was on Facebook the other day, and out popped something from 7 years ago about what he had for lunch 7 years ago on that day. And we're not taking lots of pictures of lunch these days, but 7 years ago, maybe a few more. And certainly, unless you're one of those special people who remember everything, and most of us aren't, Facebook knew what he had for dinner 7 years ago, and he didn't. So that's the key right now. And we're in a time as a marketer that you couldn't have a better tool than Facebook to use to grow your business. Now, I would say that you just don't want to do this. You can't hitch your wagon to one thing, but certainly if you have a budget, you should think about putting more of your budget into Facebook, and you should really consider doing it, because the potential, and hopefully when we're done with the call, you'll see that, is tremendous. So we're going to talk about 9 reasons why you should be advertising on Facebook, and then we're going to show you how to advertise on Facebook as well. So hopefully you'll get a lot out of this. I've been working on this presentation for a while. This was the first slide. You can see when I started on June 19th. I don't know what the market capitalization is today, but Facebook was worth $439 billion when I started doing this presentation on the 19th. I don't know, somebody can maybe look up what the market cap is today. Lots of users, 1.323 billion active users, over 2 billion users total. So there's a lot of unactive ones, but 1.3, what are we at, 8 billion as a planet or something? So big number. Unparalleled reach, unparalleled targeting. That's the coolest part of Facebook, when you can actually go in and target just who your target market is. So average number of hours, the average American user spends on Facebook each month, 20 hours, 30 days in a month, that's about 40 minutes a day. Stop and think about it for yourself. Certainly between your phone, if you're into Facebook at all, and it isn't everybody that is, but it's lots and lots of people. And I remember many years ago when I had just started my business, trying to convince people to use email marketing. And it took a while to convince people. I had one client that took me a whole year to convince him. He did lots of other things, but email marketing he wasn't going to do because he didn't like getting emails. Well, if you're not on Facebook and you don't like Facebook, that's okay. You can still advertise on Facebook, and just think of it as another tactic that you use in your overall marketing. So, you have to, if you want to succeed with it, and hopefully, the people that are on this call want to, if you have a thing against Facebook and you think it's a terrible thing and all that, and you never want to spend money on it, which I don't think you would be on a webinar if that were the case, but convince yourself otherwise and give it a try. Here's the targeting that I'm talking about: demographics, psychographics, behavior. Put them all together and you've got a powerful advertising option. And that's what it is. Here, we could be having the same webinar, I would say 12, 13, 14 years ago about Google AdWords. And it would still be a good webinar to have about Google AdWords, but since I think about 2009, 2010, when Facebook started advertising, it's just grown and grown and grown, and they've accumulated more and more information about us, and we've given up more and more information about it and about us, and it keeps adding on. And when you put all these things together, and then basically what they're doing is they know all the things that you've put on Facebook, and one of the things you use to get onto Facebook is your email address, and you use your email address in other places, and your credit card company may have your email address, and they can cross-reference all that stuff. I remember, this was back in the early 90s, there was a company, and they're still around, Hart Hanks, and they were basically credit card information aggregators. So at the time, this was when I was in retail, and the store cards, the department store owned cards, which had been the lifeblood of many department stores businesses, were starting to downturn as people got miles on their Visa and their MasterCard and that sort of thing. So what Hart Hanks did was provide the retailers with the information on what people were buying on their Visas and MasterCards and American Expresses, so that when the lingerie department wanted to send out a mailer to their list, because the department store list had gotten smaller, they could then use the Hart Hanks list to find out who was buying lingerie on their Visa card. I don't know why lingerie became the topic that I did here, but it just popped into my mind first, and get better results because they knew who the people were that were buying their products, and they could market to them better. So that's what this is all about. That Facebook is basically taking that same Hart Hanks information and overlaid it with your email address, so they have your Facebook info plus your Hart Hanks info plus other demographic info that's publicly available. And we're building these huge data centers that are requiring lots of electricity just to run by themselves. This is what they're doing. They're putting all that information together. And then the other thing to think about is location. With Facebook, you can advertise around the world or within 5 minutes of your office. You can do either one of those things. So you're able to not only worry about the demographics and the psychographics and all that, but you can do it with location as well. And that's the great part of it for local businesses, is that you can market to whatever market you want to. And if you don't have a lot of money to get started, you can get started with $5 a day, less than that maybe, on Facebook, and market to people around your business. If there were a new business opening, if I were a new business and I were opening, I can't imagine not doing Facebook advertising to let people know about your business. And I know that there are lots of people who don't. So, and then, I know many of the people on this call certainly would benefit from doing advertising on Facebook as well. So, and I think back, and hopefully from this call, you'll understand. I remember, and I run into people with this on Facebook as well. We tried Facebook advertising and it didn't work, or we tried Google AdWords and it didn't work. And a lot of times the reason for that is you're just not doing it right. And hopefully after this webinar, you'll be able to do it right. So now we're going to get into the 9 reasons. And this I just think is important because I want to take you to the next level. So, the reach, like we talked about, and the time continues to grow. They haven't seen any downturns on it yet. Certainly before the election in 2016, you saw people's time on Facebook spike, and it became at times an ugly place, and it's still that to a certain degree, but you could also do a very good job of weeding that out if you don't want to, and use Facebook as a great information source. And I certainly do that. I spend some time on personal things, but a lot of the stuff that I get on Facebook is tied into the marketing world. And at the end, when I go through some resources to help people, you'll see that as well. So, whoops, wrong button. So precision targeting, location, like I said, zip codes, area codes, age and birthday, education, demographics, all these things you can segment and target on Facebook. And even more, we'll talk about that when we get into targeting as well, but you can target your competition's Facebook page, the people who like the competition's Facebook page. So that's when you can do stuff like that, or you can target like groups. Let's say you're a life coach, person like that, and you live in a particular area. Well, who might be people who are looking for life coaches? They might be people who follow Tony Robbins. Tony has a huge Facebook page, huge. But you just care about the people who live around Annapolis, let's say. So you can target people who like Tony Robbins' Facebook page, who live around Annapolis, and other people there, other people along those lines. So it's amazing the targeting that you can do. The other thing is cost control. Your budgets can be very low, and that goes along with that as well is better targeting, less wasted spend. If you're people ask me about different things, and if you think about different media that you use, radio, TV, newspaper, you have a lot of wasted spend there. Lots of wasted spend. Just think about my lawn care client. I have a client that does lawn care services, kind of a little high end. So, they're at the high end of the cost of doing lawn care, but they provide a much better product than the national companies do. Well, they don't want to go on radio and target people. And you think about the section of people that are listening to the radio that might be interested in their particular lawn care services. But if they can, so that's pretty broad, and you'll have a lot of wasted spend. Or they can target people within 25 miles of their office who have a house worth over $400,000 and make over $100,000 a year, whatever, what criteria you want to use. And then the cool thing is that you can also create lookalike audiences and things like that. And the other thing, and we're not going to talk about this today, but we'll talk about it later. I'll share with something at the end where we would talk about it later. But you can also take your email list and put it into Facebook and then target the people who are on your email list who also have a Facebook page that would share the same email, or they know that they share emails, whatever it might be. So when you have a decent, and you got to have a decent sized list to do this, but when you have a decent sized list, you can do things like send out emails and then also do Facebook advertising together and get that repetition going, pretty targeted. So Facebook's measurability means you can keep driving down your cost per click. So another thing that we'll talk about, we won't talk too much about on this phone call, but continually refining the results that you're getting. So it's just amazing. It's efficient, it's measurable, no better way to get the word out with relevancy, being relevant to the people who are seeing your ad. So it's pretty easy to set up, much easier than Google AdWords. That's the great part. And the thing about it is, with Facebook, you're basically targeting who you think your target market is already. So that's great. And then with Google AdWords, you're thinking, well, what are people typing in to search for my business? And a lot of that can be easy. But you really don't have to have any pay-per-click experience to do Facebook ads. You can target people, interest targeting people who've already shown interest in particular topics, display ads to the people you are most likely to be interested in your product or service, and customize your ad so it's more appealing to the audience that you're trying to reach. So just checking to see. Anybody have any questions? Just feel free to put the questions in the questions section. Let me just take this out. And okay, so just put your questions in the question section, and I'll answer your questions as we're going through. So I'll try to stop and do that on a regular basis. So feel free to go ahead and show me. It looks like this slide is a little messed up. This is, again, the first time I'm doing this. So, this is a great quote, and I use it all the time. John Wanamaker, department store guy in Philadelphia. Good book to read. While it's kind of old, I think it's called Give the Lady What She Wants. Obviously a little old, but that was what it was in his time. And I say this all the time, half of all advertising is wasted. We just don't know which half it is. With Facebook, it's easy to test and know. And I'm sorry about those A and B on the bottom, but you can do A and B testing. So you can try this one, see which works, go to the one that works, and then try another one against that, and continually be trying to refine to get to the best ad with the best results. And when you get a great ad with great results, and you can actually create a money-making system that's what you want to do. Then you'll be like the infomercials that you see on TV all the time. If you see a infomercial on TV for a long time, you know that it works because they must be making money on it or they would shut it off. So you can do the same thing. You get social proof. This is another big, important topic today with everybody using their phones to do just about everything in their life. 68% of Facebook users say a friend's referral would increase their chances of purchasing. Facebook ads are easily liked and shared, giving you the benefit of social proof. More than once, I've done ads with clients, and it shows up in front of one of their clients, and they put how great they are, so they add to it. And you can advertise to friends of fans to leverage social proof. Those times where you might see an ad and it says, Chris Ripley likes Strategic Marketing Group, and you're friends with Chris Ripley, so that's kind of saying, well, if Chris likes it, you're friends with Chris, you should like it too, or you should click here to learn more about it, whatever your call to action is. So, let me just, any questions? No? Okay. I'll keep going. Mobile targeting, that's the other thing. 30% of purchases are now made from mobile device. Facebook is a very popular mobile app. When you think about the mobile apps that get used, probably the biggest one is email, but close after email, if you think about how much you check your email on your phone, you may not think of your email app as being the most used, but I'll bet you that for many of you that email is the most used app on your phone. Again, that's an good argument for continuing to do email marketing, but Facebook is right in there as well. So, and we're all killing time looking at our phone, looking at Facebook. So there's your 9 good reasons, and we could come up with more as to why you should be advertising on Facebook. So we're going to talk a little bit more about the ad platform when you add all these things together. So I'm going to show you a few examples of success stories with Facebook advertising. We had a local group in town called Transform Waldorf. New organization, no following. They wanted to have a meeting to gauge interest in their cause. This was an organization that's trying to bring light rail to where I live. So, and I knew one of the people. They did it, this was their Facebook page. We set it up, and they went from nothing. And by targeting the Facebook people that are interested in politics, live in certain places with certain income, they were able to find and attract prospects to their exact target audience at a cost that would be impossible via any other form of advertising. So this is what happened. The person who was building this rented a room at the library for 50 people. Thought he might have 25 people. He did some other things to promote it as well. He did a listing in the newspaper, and he emailed people that he knew, but he had 89 people sign up for their email list at the event, and so they had over 89 people for the event. He didn't count how many people were there, but by far, pretty much everybody said they had come because they had heard of Facebook. And the one count that he did have is he had 89 people sign up for the email list at the event. And then the second meeting where he did the same ad again, plus also had the email list. They had more than 100 people in a much bigger room. So that was like going from nothing to just for $100 making it happen. Or Title Marketing That Works, another company that I operate, targeting title companies. And we're going to do a little bit of, at the end when we set up the ad, I'm going to show you how I do the targeting for, how a title company would do targeting for a real estate agent. So we'll do some of that. So targeting the niche of title insurance companies. This is the page, February 2017, and we do this quite often. We just started doing more Facebook advertising with it. We usually have 5 to 10 people on the webinars that we do. We usually use LinkedIn messages. We have a title company marketing Facebook group on LinkedIn, and so we've been doing that group for 10 years. We spent $200 on Facebook advertising, targeting members that like targeting American Land Title Association members and other title industry pages. We got 36 registered, 19 attended. We sold about $1,500 worth of stuff, plus we get a monthly kickback on that as well. So that was a little thing that we did there. And then the big one that I like to talk about, and we're still working with these people as well. We had a Sonic open about 1.5 years ago now in our town, and if you have come from a place where Sonic has been around all the time, it's no big deal to you, but this was like the greatest thing that had happened to Waldorf since the freestanding Chick-fil-A opened. So this was their page. We set this up for them, that sort of thing, and we built a list of over 10,000 fans before they ever opened their door, and we spent about $600. I think, do I put that in here? Nope. 10,000 fans, spent about $600 to do that. But we did some other things on here as well. But the big thing was certainly doing the advertising. We also did some videos, which, if you don't know, video on Facebook is really big and very important. We continue to market to them. They had lines of cars, they had traffic issues, and they've been profitable. The store has been profitable from the day they opened their doors. They were the second biggest Sonic opening ever. Some store in Connecticut was a little bit bigger, but they were really successful, and it was really the Facebook advertising. And here's a case where we did broad targeting, because a restaurant like Sonic is going to appeal to lots of people, but it was very successful. So here, I see a question here from Gigi. So return on investment, I guess I shared a little bit of that in the, you can look at the one before this. In specifics, we sold about $1,500 worth of stuff, plus if you take a year's worth of residual income, $600. Say you sold $2,100 and it cost us $200. Now, we were sometimes doing sales in the other webinars, but not nearly to that level. So you can see, you see different ROIs, but you certainly see strong returns on investment over the long term. That's why you certainly can't start off, and if you've been doing it for a month and you're not happy with the results, I don't recommend you stopping, because the people are out there and you're targeting just needs to be refined, and your ads need to be refined. And one of the big mistakes that people make is that they don't provide people with any call to action. Now, if you look back at some of the case studies that I was doing, we had people attending webinars, people attending events, people liking the Facebook page. So sometimes it's a little bit tougher to get a specific ROI, but somebody like you, Gigi, I think you would obviously want to get new clients and either sell things online or sell them directly, and I think you'd be able to determine your return on investment. And some of it becomes lead generation, and if you're having trouble converting leads now, it's not, you're going to have to work on that part of it as well. I'm certainly not saying that that's the case, but just think about that as well. And as we go into it, I'll spend a little bit more time on that. If you don't feel like I've completely answered your question, let me know again. I'd be glad to. So we're going to talk a little bit about best practices as well. And I know people are probably getting anxious to to actually see the setup. Things that you want to have beforehand, though, you might want to make sure you have a good Facebook page. Don't go into this not having posted on your Facebook page for the last 2 years. Now, I'm not saying that you got to post every day, but you want to keep it current. So make sure that you have a great page right out of the box, that you have a good Facebook page that when somebody looks at, they're going to be able to get a feel for your business and feel like that you're somebody that they would either like to give their information to or do business with, whatever your next step in the sales process might be. So make sure you have a good page. Do your research. Take advantage of the targeting. Use Facebook Audience Insights to find targets to pursue, and we'll take a look at that when we get into it. Research your audience to get your demographic makeup, and this is where it pays to have a good Facebook page. Because if you have a good Facebook page, you'll know your demographic makeup. If you've got a couple hundred people on your Facebook page, that'll help you out a lot. And then one of the things that you should also be doing is, especially if you have a good client and prospect list, would be to just be doing surveys and finding out what other websites or brands your client might be interested in. I was listening to, trying to think, I've listened to several things in the last couple of days in preparation for the webinar. But one of the things was talking about a yoga teacher. And, yoga teachers certainly would be able to target other people who like yoga, and maybe there are certain people. There's that Rodney guy in yoga, and there's some other people out there. You could target them. You could target people who like Lululemon or something like that, or any sort of yoga equipment, and you could dig in. And so if you're a yoga teacher, you can find these different things. Where are the places that your typical customer goes that may not even be related? So, but that's where your customer goes, and you might not have thought about targeting people who also like that, but you can. So here we have, looking at the demographics of your page. You should take a look at this. This is certainly worth doing. If you see here, 66% of the people who like your page are married. So they have, what kind of college do they have? 64%. So, use these numbers to create an audience for you to target with Facebook. So target very specific audiences. You can do this. No problem. Target all these things very easily. So tell them what to do, include a clear action, what you want your audience to take in the body text of your ads. So this is where it's important, and this is where lots of marketing breaks down, not just Facebook marketing, where people don't tell people what the next step in the sales process is. So you want to be able to do that. And you'll find, and I think that most of y'all probably, if you signed up, some people signed up other ways, but some people on the call signed up through our Facebook ad. And we can, on Facebook, with Facebook lead ads, you can actually, and many, you may have done this already, many of you have, I know I have with other things. When you click on to register, the box just pops up. It's already got your name, your last name, and your email address in, because Facebook already knows that stuff, and they just add it in there. So make sure that you tell people what you want the next step in the sales process to be for them. So appeal to self-interest. Certainly that's what people are thinking about on Facebook. So any benefits, sales, or similar specials that you're offering, always a great way to go on Facebook as well. Eye-catching imagery. I'm going to go into some of the things that you can do for imagery as well. You know, make it clean, relevant, close-ups, white backgrounds. There's places, one thing that you'll see a lot of in Facebook advertising where people put their call to action like in the middle of a computer screen or something. And there are tools out there that can help you do that. And then at the end, in the resources, we're going to go through a little bit of that as well. So track your results, look for a solid click-through rate, always split test. So use the built-in reporting to refine your target market. So look at those things and always be trying to improve the results of your ads. So show restraint. It's one of the things, and I wanted to talk about this in terms of just advertising in general. As I've seen Facebook change from what, in the old days when you just had those little right-hand side square ads and they didn't do hardly anything at all, and you couldn't do anything in the news feed. They were very, 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 very particular about what you could put in ads. They're still very particular about it, but you can be a little bit more salesy than you could be in the past. One of the rules that Facebook has is they don't want more than 20% of the surface area of your ad to contain text. So we'll talk a little bit about that at the end. But they've been a little bit forgiving on that lately. They used to be really tough, but they've been a little bit more forgiving on that recently. So just understand, you don't want to be screaming. And they actually, for certain products, they won't run ads. So usually that's like multi-level marketing stuff and things like that. Now, I'm not saying you could have run multi-level marketing ads and gotten away with it, but they don't like that stuff. So big question that I get all the time is, how much should you spend on ads? And the great thing about that, the answer is spend what you can afford. I really believe that. Don't worry, don't get too crazy. Spend what you can afford. And sometimes, I don't know why this is the case, but I've heard this more than once, that if you try to spend too much, it'll actually become inefficient. So sometimes it's better to spend a little bit more and increase gradually versus, if you do an ad and you're running it at $10 a day and you're getting great results from it, and you say, well, I'm going to spend $50 a day and get 5 times the results. Doesn't always work that way. So what I would recommend that you do is you take it maybe from 10 to 15 and see what happens then. And so, like I was talking about before, if you could build a system that for every $5 you spend, you make $10 back, you keep going at it and keep going at it until that number changes. If that's a good number for you, maybe you need to get $20 back, and that's okay. And you just work on it. It depends on your industry and all kinds of factors. And I'm not saying that that's even a number that you would get, because it would generally be better than that. But just understand that that's the way it goes. So don't give up too easily. Does your ad stink? And if you're not sure, ask somebody else. Ask 3 or 4 people. Does your image stink? We've had this problem before, just changing the images. That's why it's really important to change the images and do split testing with that, because you want to make sure you've got a good image. Facebook advertising has worked for almost every industry at this point. So I really haven't come upon any situations where we can't get a profitable result. So, and I'm not saying that happens the first time, but certainly if you address issues, well, is it the text? Is it the image? Is it the target market that we've chosen? Are we not spending enough money to get the leads that we want to? Because the other thing to think about, and this is important to think about also, is that Facebook is running out of space in places, not everywhere, and I haven't really found this to be much of an issue for me, but I've read it and heard it, that in some cases, in some urban areas, there's just too many people who want to do Facebook advertising, and it's gotten a lot more expensive. Same thing happened with Google AdWords, and it depended on what market you were in. My lawn care guys get a lot of competition, but I have other industries where it isn't quite as big. My auto repair shop, he doesn't get that much competition. He gets competition from national advertisers, but not many local auto repair shops doing Facebook advertising and Google AdWords. All right, so we're going to go, actually, this is the Highwire Act part. Wow, I've lost people. Hopefully people will, I'm surprised. I'm losing a few people. Am I that boring? You can tell me if you think I'm boring. I kind of surprised, but that's okay. Oh, I had one more slide here. I want to just mention this when we get into this, because this is a problem that it took me a little while to understand, that I actually did a screenshot on this because I wanted to make sure that everybody understood this. That there are 3 levels in Facebook ads. You have the top level, which is the campaign, then you have the ad set, and then you have the specific ads. So you'll see those 3 words tossed around a little bit when we're talking here, but just understand that that's how it works. And it's actually, this is on the side of the page. So here we go. Let's see. So what I'm going to do, and I think I'm going to go back on this. I was trying to decide, I could show you this in my personal account, or I could show you in our business account. And I thought it might be better to show you in my personal account, because that would be more like what most of you see, unless you have the ads manager. And of course it's gonna, doesn't want to go back to my. And another little tip, if you ever want to get on Facebook real quickly, you can just fb.com will also get you to Facebook. So here we go, and I'm going to go to the strategic marketing group page, and this could be your page, could be anybody's page, and you just want to go over here to the side, and then you want to click on create ads. What you were seeing a minute or two ago was the back end of the ad management. So here's where you would start. And if you've done, let me ask this question while people are here. Let's see who's using Facebook ads. Now that we've lost some people. Anybody still awake here? Let's see, I can see who's awake, who's not. So only 43% have voted. Anybody else want to vote? Joanna? How about Nana? A few people. So, well, I don't want to take it any longer, but looks like the people that have voted have not done Facebook ads. So, is there a way? Here we go. 57 still no. So that's good. So I guess that's good. That's why you're here. So there's lots of different objectives that you could have. We were talking about, here's the campaign. We're going to run a Facebook ads campaign. What's our objective going to be? Our objective could be any of these right here. You've got brand awareness, increase awareness for your brand by reaching people who are more likely to be interested in it. If you want to just show your ad to the maximum number of people, you can do that. If you want to get traffic to your Facebook page, you can do that. If you want to get more post engagement, page likes, event responses, or offer claims, so this would be probably what we would do when we did with Sonic, is we wanted to get more engagement. If you sell apps and you want to do app installs, you can do that as well. If you want to get video views, this is a hot one, and you can do video views relatively inexpensively. That's another one to do. Lead generation ads. This is often what we do, drive more sales leads, such as email addresses from people interested in your brand or business. This is often what we're doing. Probably we use lead generation 80–90% of the time. This is Facebook lead ads you will hear, and this is where you can get people to give up their information relatively quickly and then take with that information whatever you'd like. Conversions drive valuable actions on your website or app. One of the things to think about, some of you may be familiar with Google remarketing, and you may be familiar with it, where you go to a particular website and then you go to another website, maybe a news site or whatever, and you see ads from the previous site that you were at. Staples is a big one to do that. I was looking for an air filter for my car, and now I see ads for the air filter company in many different places, including Facebook. Because Facebook has the ability to do this as well. And this is where it gets a little bit more complicated, but you have what's known as the Facebook Pixel. And basically what that is a little bit of code that you put on your website, and it's easy to put on. Anybody could do it. There are tools that help you do that. So when somebody goes to your website, the Facebook Pixel gets put on with your cookies, you know, the things that track you as you go around. And then when you go on Facebook, there was an ad for the filter company on Facebook. So they're able to do that as well. And these become very powerful. And what you find when you start doing remarketing, that's where you really start getting the big ROI, because you don't spend a lot of money on remarketing, and you're only targeting people who have already responded in one way to your ad, and you get great numbers on that. My lawn care company on remarketing, they don't spend hardly anything, and they get conversions on it. So that's a great thing to know. Ads, you know, product catalog sales, create ads that automatically show your products from your product catalog based on your target audience. And then store visits as well, to visit your brick and mortar location. So all these, and I would recommend when we get to the resources you can use, I'd recommend that you spend a little bit of time and learn what each one is. I'm going to actually go to the lead generation ad, and I'm not going to create a split test right now because that's just a little bit too complicated to get started with. But we're just going to call this test title lead generation. So what we're going to pretend that we're a title company. A title company are the companies that you use to settle on real estate, and their target market is generally real estate agents. Real estate agents are often deciding where they're going to do the settlement. Real estate agents, mortgage lenders also might be their target market. So that's who we're going to go after here. And so we're going to just do a little bit of targeting to show you what it is. And we're going to start with the realtors. And we're going to actually change the ad set name to local realtors. And I know it's copyrighted there, but we'll be okay. And then we're going to pick, now you probably might only have one page here. I'm hooked up to many pages, and I'm going to actually pick the title marketing that works page. And here's another thing that pops up, and I encourage you at least take a look at the terms. Make sure you understand what the terms are, because more than once I've seen people who have their advertising shut down because they violate the terms of the agreement. So here we go, and we're going to create an audience. We want to target local real estate agents. So that's going to be the name of the list that we're going to talk about. And I'm not going to go into it. We're not going to create a custom audience either. This is where it gets a little bit more complicated. You don't have to do that either. But you could create a custom audience. That would be people who've already interacted, or a lookalike audience. And this is where it gets very powerful as well, where you can reach new people on Facebook who are similar to your most valuable audiences. So that's great. You can create an audience that looks just like the one that you want. So here we're going to go, and we don't want the United States, you know, and you can look over here and you can see, and as I make the changes, you'll see these numbers change as well. Now we're targeting the whole United States, 213 million people. So I'm going to just target around us. And this is where I could put in 20601 if I wanted to, and that would get just that zip code. I'm just going to put in where I live, Waldorf, Maryland. So here's our audience now, and that's going to be within 25 miles of Waldorf, Maryland. May go a little bit further than I want, so I can click here, and maybe I'll take it down to 15 miles. That gets it a little bit tighter, and it covers most of the areas that I'd like to cover. But you can do whatever you'd like on these. There's lots of ways to handle this. And probably, I'm not going to see it, but I'm going to really just take this to like 21. I don't know if there are that many real estate agents there. So you can see now we're 15 miles of Waldorf, Maryland. We've cut this back to 21. You know, if I put it back to 18, there's about 20,000 people in between the two. But here you can see over here, if you're watching over here, you can see that change. So let me even try to make it a little bit bigger for you. So you can see this number change as I go further in there. Now I could change to men, to women. I was playing around with it. You know, if I wanted to just get people who speak Spanish, you know, 81,000 people out of the 580. So that would narrow it down. Maybe I just wanted Spanish-speaking real estate agents. I'm not going to change that now. But here's where you can get into the detailed targeting. And this is what I've been talking about as we go along. Define your audience by including or excluding demographics, interests, and behaviors. And what I encourage you to do is just start typing things in and see how it turns out. Here's some tips. Adding more detailed targeting will expand your audience to include more people. To refine your audience, use the links below to exclude and narrow people as well. So here we're going to put in, we're just going to put in real estate, and we're going to start typing that in. Now we could put different, if we look at real estate, there's a lot of different ways to look at it. There's 189 million people who are interested in real estate, people who are owners or employees in the real estate industry, 12 million. Now that's nationwide. Let's just see if I put that in, how many people. That means that within this area, we were at 580,000. Now we're down to 40,000 people, and you can also see that your audience is defined right here. So that's pretty good that you do that. Now I could go back here and get rid of that, and let's say, what if I put in realtor? So that's a lot narrower. That's a lot narrower, but that's good, because that's what most real estate agents, that's the, you know, the national, the Real Estate Association. So if I put that in, we're going to get it. And that's pretty specific, fewer than 1,000 people. So they don't like when the audiences get less than 1,000 people. I'll be very honest with you that I would still consider trying this if you wanted to. You could do, this is where you could do some split testing if you wanted to. So, but we could go back and we could put real estate. I want to put that in just to show you more options. Let's say if you were looking for a real estate appraiser or a developer, or, you know, real estate investments, real estate agent, you know, I could add this in there as well. Still too specific, but, you know, you may want to consider it. Or what you could consider doing would be maybe expanding your reach here. I always say, so maybe taking this to, you know, we'll take it all the way out to 50, and that's going to definitely, you know, here, 5,300, that's the, you know, almost the entire Metro DC, Baltimore, but, you know, basically all you did was change the size. That's why I say sometimes it's worth, you're not going to get a lot of activity when you just go with the, you know, the 20 miles, let's say, but, you know, you got 1,800 people. I would try it and see what happens, because we've had success with that before. But you could put in anything that you want in here. You know, you could put in, you know, do they have interest in children? You know, and this would be other things. You know, let's say you were coming up with children's cereal, a new children's cereal, or a new baby product for children, or whatever it might be. You were a child psychiatrist and you wanted to do that. I'm trying to, you could put in income, and here, look at all, you could add, people 50 to 75,000, 75 to 99, you could add all these in. You could put investments and get different types of investors. Maybe you are targeting somebody, if you're a financial planner. How about like fitness? People that are interested in physical fitness. Let me put that in. I'm going to get rid of realtors and look at that. And in the Metro DC area within 21 miles, so even if we made it within 10 miles, you would see still 61,000 people. So there's a lot of people in that group. It looks like a good group to go after. I'm trying to think, here you could just look through and see, here's some that we've gone for in the past. You can see lots of different, we were trying to find some Republicans there. As you can see, we were trying to find some marketing people, small business owners, things like that. So that's all the targeting that's available. I'm going to just put the realtors in there. If you want a particular realtor company, that's probably not going to work. Let me get rid of that one. So I'm just going to put that one in because that one makes them happy. And then connection type, here's where we can get into people who like your page, people who've used your app, people who've responded to your event, lots of advanced combination. We're going to save this audience and we're going to call it, real estate 20 miles. You could call it whatever, 10 miles. Well, I'm just going to put it on there. So that's that. So we've got our audience set. Now we're going to do, I would recommend automatic placements, especially if you're starting out. Daily budget, you can choose whatever you want your budget to be. You can see we're just going through the different lines here. And then you could either set ads to run continuously or a start and an end date. I recommend you do a start and an end date. We're just going to keep the ones that are in there, and we're going to maximize for leads. And then let Facebook do the bidding right away to get a feel for it. You get charged by impression. That'll be every time somebody sees it. That's how it has to work with lead ads. And then the delivery type, I'm not going to, these are advanced options. You don't even have to look at these if you don't want. But I'm going to go ahead and we'll just click continue in the interest of time. I apologize. I just didn't know how much longer this was going to go. This is the first time on this. But hopefully the people who remain are getting something out of it. So we're going to go ahead and this is where we're down here now, and what pages do we want it to go on. So we've got the Facebook page, and then we also have the Title Marketing That Works Instagram page. And I'm just going to, so yeah, we're gonna just stick with the Title Marketing That Works Facebook page and use Instagram. There's different ways you can do your images. This is another way. You can have a carousel of pictures, multiple images, single image, and then you can create up to 6 ads with 1 image. You can have a single video, or you could have a looping video ad with 10 images, where you would click here and you would upload your images. You're going to have, you'll see down here change, and you'll add your images down here. So you can use 3 to 10 images to create a slideshow. You can pick what you want. If it's going to hold you back, just start off with a single image and try one. I recommend making a video, and a short video, and doing that as well. Or here's where you would set your slideshow up as I had chosen before. Here's where you would take your video, and actually what it's doing now is it's taking my image from the top of my Facebook page, and then you could add, here's where you can click in and go out and get more images of your own. I have, let me see, I have an image that I should be able to grab here that's for title companies. Of course, this is where things go slow. Yeah, this isn't the right graphic, but I'll just show you. You just go out and get your graphic, and that's the one that I'm going to use. So you can fit that, you can see that in. So here's your ad. This is what we see in ads. Here's your ad, and then here's where you could go in and type in your information. So here we have, realtors, free webinar, and then you would go, come to our free webinar. So that's going to fill in up at the top. You can control what you want people to do. Here's our call to action. Sign up, subscribe, learn more. We'll leave that in. And then here's another, more text goes here. So this is where you can add additional text. So you see that down here on the bottom. And then you can put what you want your display link to look like. And that's going to go right down here. You put that in. And then here's where you can get into the pixel tracking that I'm not going to get into today, but that's where you would get into that. And we can help you with that. And then here's the form. So here's what your form is going to look like. If you've ever if you signed up on Facebook for this, what's going to happen is when you click on sign up right here, this little form is going to pop up, and it should have your information already. Now, it may not have your phone number, and then you'll be able to click submit, and you'll see this is what will show up, and then you're going to get the leads. You'll be able to get the leads from that. So that's real quick. So everything's set right now. So all we would have to do is click confirm, and this ad would get started. That's all we'd have to do. So I know that's quick. So thanks there. I know that's a quick way to do it, and people may have questions about it. If you have a question, that's quickly it on the how to set them up. I have one more thing. I want to show you the resources and where you can go to get help with this and make it easier for you, that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and shift back to that. And if you have any questions, I know that's quick, but you'll have a recording and you can review it. And that might be you can just go through this point by point, and I'll even give you some help on that. So let me go back to here. So here's some resources that I want to share with everybody. The big resource that you want to have, Facebook. Facebook has tons of stuff on Facebook advertising, and they want you to do it, and they want you to do it well. So that's one, and I should have showed this before I got here, but and here I have tabs. So here's, do a Google search for Facebook ads. You come and you get, here's the info. It's not, here's all that you can do with ads, set up ads, choosing all these things. This is a cool thing, and those of you who stuck around to the end will be glad that you did. If you want to try out something very cool to learn a lot about Facebook ads, go to Google and search for Turbo Ad Finder. Turbo Ad Finder. And what you'll find is that it's a plugin for Chrome. It's a plugin that you can add to Chrome. It's got pretty high ratings here. And what it does is when you're on Facebook, let's see, I just can key in facebook.com and it's going to take me right there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here, and if you use Chrome and you have plugins, here's the Turbo Ad Finder right here. Let me get rid of that. I think I'm going to turn it on, and then it'll get rid of the Trump stuff. And what it does is the only thing that you'll see in your Facebook ad, in your Facebook news feed, is ads. That's all you'll see. So here's a Waze ad, here's a WordStream ad, here's a Hootsuite ad, here's a HubSpot ad. All these are ads. This is a great way, I love it, to look at how people are doing ads. Digital marketer, they're great, and they're great at Facebook advertising. So if they're doing something like this, it must be working, because they've been doing this for a while. Here's a Facebook ad, to Pulse. It's a project management tool for Mac. SEM Rush, that's a tool that we use. These are all ads. This is just very cool. And here you can see I was shopping for LED lighting on Home Depot, and because of that, they now know, and ads for home lighting show up on my Facebook page. I was doing it with this. This is actually our business Facebook page. So that's some great stuff. Other things that are good resources, Canva. I don't know if anybody uses Canva, but Canva is a graphics tool. You can see these are all the graphics that we've created for clients recently. But this is a great place to go. You can create, let me see here. Yeah, here you have different Facebook sizes, and then you can actually click here, and here you have social media post sizes, documents, incredible amount of stuff. We use Canva all the time, and while we're using a paid one, and these folders are the main thing that the paid one has, because we use them for some of the clients. So that's that's a great tool. Here's Fiverr, another great tool that you should be looking at. These guys can do a lot of graphic design for you relatively inexpensively. This is a landing page, so that's that. So I definitely got to cut down on some of the time here. I think I have some ideas. But anyway, so those are some of the resources. So for those of you who remain, we have we have this live class. I talked about things and you can only cover so much. And I figured that the best way to get people, there's a couple of ways that we can do this. One of the way would be to offer a live class, and we're going to spend, we'll spend at least an hour on each one of these separate topics, where we'll talk about boosting pages, ad manager, and power editor. We didn't even talk about the power editor, which is another tool that you can use, pixels and conversions, all these things. So we're going to do this once a week. It's going to start on August 3rd at 11 a.m. It's going to be a webinar format like this for 10 weeks, only $97. Classes will be recorded, so if you don't make it, you can get the recorded version as well. And part of what we'll do is we'll provide you support during the whole class. I mean, this is a great deal. We'll set up an ad, and there's a little typo there, and help you setting up additional ads throughout the class. So this is an incredible deal. $97. We're going to take you everything that we know about Facebook advertising. So it's a great tool, and this is a great way to learn it all. I realize, I'm thinking, do people want to take 10 weeks? Well, we're going to get you started, and we'll do some advertising relatively quickly, but the class will go for 10 weeks, and it's the only way that I could do it. And we're going to, we'll do these classes. You'll have the recordings, and probably what I'm going to do is after we get done with the recordings, I'll sell that part of it, that people will be able to buy all the recordings at once. But it'll be more expensive, definitely. I vacillated between $197 and $97, and I said $97, people will want to do it. So that's that. And if you want to sign up for this, it's very easy to do. You can just go to bit.ly/strategic marketing group Facebook ads, SMG FB ads. So that's one thing you can do. The other thing that we've got going is we'll do it for you also. So, and this might be something that interests people. For the people that were on the call, we're going to set up a Facebook ad for you for $49. Now we'll set it up for you, and create the graphic, create the text, schedule the ad, and then you'll have the results on Facebook. Now you would have to pay for the ad as well. So just understand that doesn't include the ad. So that's that. And then if you're thinking that you just want to dive in, and we already have clients who are paying $500 a month for this. But for the people on the call, I just wanted to do this. We're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to let you, we're going to run up to 2 ads a week, every week, for $250 a month. So this would be for somebody who wanted to really dive in and try out Facebook. So we'll be running all of your Facebook ads, and for the first 6 months, only $250 a month. So that's a great deal as well. So that's it, folks. It's hard to believe. I got to cut out 20 minutes, but I think I know where I can cut that out to get it down to an hour. So that's it. There's the link if you want to sign up for the $97 a month. I mean, $97 10-week course. It's a great deal. You'll be a Facebook advertising expert when you're done. And everybody have a great day. Thanks for the great feedback there, Gigi, and other people who left some questions and feedback. I hope you really enjoyed it. And like I said, we'll have a recording of this. So where is the recording link? All right, so that's it. Everybody have a great day.